You might think, this is one of those videos that promise you quick progress for views. But nah, I personally experienced this quick growth that I'm talking about right now. Just look at these two illustrations. This one is an attempt to draw Espas Carina in a semi-realism style 4 months ago. Now this is my recent semi-realism drawing of Winter from Espa. I'll let you be the judge, but personally, I think the difference is significant enough.
That's not ridiculous.
And if you also want to improve this quickly, just keep watching the vid. So, let's start the guide. Without further ado, the first thing I want you to keep in mind is to start seeing things as a chain of processes. What do I mean by that? Are we still talking about drawing? Well, hear me out. Everything has a step-by-step process. Most people draw without being conscious of the things they're applying. That's the reason why sometimes we end up with a very good drawing, but we can't recreate the same quality. It's because we weren't conscious of these steps and we can't remember how to make our next drawings as good as our previous one. So, next time you draw, be more conscious of the steps on how you draw. If this concept is familiar to you, it's because I learned this from Blue Lock, so quick shout out to Blue Lock. Now, the second thing you need to do is to know what you want to draw and focus on it. Ask yourself this: do I want to draw in a certain art style? Or maybe I want to draw like the artist that I look up to. After asking yourself these, start looking for references or the artists that you want to learn from. I highly recommend the latter, especially if they make tutorials. That way, you can easily apply the idea I talked about earlier. Break down their processes and observe what makes that specific style interesting to you. This step is very important because this will give you a certain direction in your art journey. Now, before I continue, if you like the video so far and some of my artworks that I've shown, I encourage you to visit my Instagram and TikTok accounts so you won't miss my future uploads. I post weekly and I follow back artists with an art style that I find interesting. Also, I'm open to collaborate sometimes. Yeah. Let's move on to our third step. If you want to improve quickly, it's not necessary for you to draw more frequently. You don't have to stress yourself to draw every day. You might even get burned out if you force yourself. Drawing is not just about making artworks. You don't just improve in drawing by practicing. You also improve by observing. In the days when you can't really draw or don't feel like drawing anymore, it's okay to sit back and just observe other people's drawings. Of course, it's more beneficial if you observe and immediately apply the things you've observed. But if not, observing will do just fine. Don't worry about forgetting the information you've observed, because if you consistently observe, there will always be reoccurring concepts or ideas. As you keep encountering those same ideas, your brain will eventually think it's important enough to remember and to retain some of those information. But of course, practice when you've finally recovered from any form of art block. We will now move on to the last portion of this video. The previous ones I've discussed can easily be applied by everyone on their own. However, this last part may be a little difficult to some. The last thing you need to do in order to improve quickly is to get feedback. Personally, I'm not in any art community right now. I only get feedback from close friends, and surprisingly, it is enough to make a difference. Most of my friends are not practitioners of digital art too. Getting feedback is great because we sometimes get blind in both the things we get right and the things we get wrong. By asking for feedback, other people can point those out for you. The things you got right or what they liked about your work, so you can keep that aspect in your next artwork, and the things you got wrong or they didn't like, so you can avoid it or fix it next time. That's all for this video. I hope you've been enlightened to some degree or were reminded of some of these ideas if you already knew them before. I haven't seen a video talking about these ideas in just one video, so I compiled the things I've learned in the past to simplify them and make it more easier to follow. I hope you guys learned something. I'm even hoping that some of y'all will improve even faster than I did. I think the ideas I've discussed in this video can still be explained to a greater detail. So if you want that, just let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching and have a great art journey.